She lives the life of a fashion model, jetting from the States to Europe, earning big bucks, parades, and paparazzi. Her long legs have taken her far, but one crown still eludes her. Will today be her coronation? And who will succeed last year's Hambletonian King? We'll see who's worthy of the challenge next on ESPN2. The biggest week in the sport is about to begin here at the Mecca of harness racing, the Meadowlands racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where Mother Nature has done her part, serving up a splendid afternoon in the Garden State. Our focus will be on fast trotters and pacers and big money. We've come to the center of the racing universe today. 3 Breeders' Crown events, 2 will be live, the Open Pace and the Open Trot. Who are we going to see today?
Quite simply, we're going to see the top pacer and trotter in the sport today. Both Horse of the Year candidates, starting with the fella, Pacific fella, who's come up huge in all his events this year, all the major events, through surgeries and layoffs and 17 drivers and 15 tracks. He's facing a stellar field today. How about Moneymaker, the international trotting star, whose 40 wins have come in 6 countries? She hopes to beat the boys again and capture her first Breeders' Crown.
Well, we've got the $500,000 Breeders' Crown Open Trot coming up. In 1997, Westgate Crown won this race over Moneymaker. He's back in the field, but Moneymaker is the one to beat, and she is looking to beat the boys and beat them bad.
Well, she has revenge. She has an agenda on her mind here. Of course, the narrow loss last week, and the narrow loss the last 2 years, and she's 0-3 in the Breeders' Crown, so she really wants to win today.
One of the great trotting mares of all time, part of this field. Let's take a look at the conditions for the Breeders' Crown Open Trot. $500,000 purse, grade 1 event, 3-year-olds and up at a mile.
And we kick it off with an entry from the Joe Stutzman stable with Georgia Limited. The horse I like here, Gary, the American National winner, coupled with Pietro Pan, B. Corpete, the oldest to debut in the Breeders' Crown here at age 9. And Glory's Comet, the horse that's powered by Bananas and Labatt's Blue. And Super High Test, a real consistent type, Moneymaker, known as the Sophia Loren of the equine world because of her striking good looks. And Westgate Crown, the first trotter to appear in 5 Breeders' Crowns. Good Times makes his 4th Breeders' Crown appearance.
Well, her name says it all, Moneymaker. She's banked over $2.3 million, and with all that cash, she's earned a lot of interest.
Her mother was a world champion, and so was her father. She's a big horse. Normally big horses don't have, they're a little bit too clumsy to be able to really perform at top level. She's staying sound, and she can handle traveling, extremely well. I mean, she's been in Europe twice, and she's been in France and Norway and Italy and Sweden. I mean, she's been all over.
She's a real-life globetrotter with international victories to her credit, including this one in the Elite Lot.
På Moneymaker, långt ut 7 Georgia Limited. Det är USA som gör upp och det är invändigt Money for Moneymaker!
In any language, Moneymaker stamped herself as the world's dominant trotter. Her strength and size consistently deliver the knockout punch.
A lot of horses, I guess, get a little intimidated getting that powerful horse over you. I mean, that's, of course, it's psychological. I think she crushed them that way.
Despite her raw strength and talent, she's never graced the Breeders' Crown winner's circle. But Tactor has harnessed her power and is confident that today is the day.
As a 4-year-old, she did not have the gate speed as she developed as a 5-year-old. Now she's a very good out of gate. So if the race would have been this year, I think, of course, she would have won the race. She lost 2 Breeders' Crown, she lost as a 3-year-old by a nose, and so this is the race that we wanted to win, really. I mean, Elite Lop was the #1 priority this year, and now it's Breeders' Crown.
And there is a look at the queen herself, Moneymaker, currently being held at 2-5, and in the sulky, regular pilot Wally Hennessy. And Ken, it's pretty amazing that Moneymaker, through all her success, has been overshadowed in a couple of situations. 1996 as a 3-year-old, overshadowed by the great Horse of the Year, Continental Victory, another 3-year-old filly trotter. And then in the Breeders' Crown, she's 0-3, so she really hasn't got a lot of respect sometimes.
And last week she got no respect as she was was making her first start in 6 weeks. It was the first Nat Ray elimination, and she is right here sitting behind John Campbell with Glory's Comet. That super high test applying some pressure, but look at the pace here. It was dawdling. John Campbell really backed down the pace with Glory's Comet. A second quarter in just 30-4 before sprinting to the wire in 26-3. Wally Hennessy was content to sit in, and right here he is locked in with no racing room, has to angle clear. He said she didn't feel as strong and aggressive because of that overseas trip, the quarantine, the 6-week layoff. Super high test battles relentlessly, keeping Moneymaker boxed in. She angles clear and comes on, but too late.
Yeah, she did have some good late trot, but it was not enough, and there is a look at the horse that beat her last year in the Breeders' Crown, Westgate Crown, another international star being driven today by Cat Manzi. And Cat, you did not drive your horse, Westgate Crown, last week in the Nat Ray elimination. You're behind him today. What do you have to do to beat Moneymaker?
Well, I got to be real lucky to beat Moneymaker. This horse is a good horse, but his form is off. He didn't race good last week, and I'm going to have a lot of racing luck.
Well, Cat, apparently he was on his left line last week. According to John Campbell, he had a bruise on his left front foot. How did that heal?
Well, there's still little some of that left, but he seems all right to me. I think he'll be all right.
All right, good luck, Cat.
All right, Cat, thanks so much. And there, look at Westgate Crown and Good Times, one of the elimination winners and one of the Canadian invaders along with Glory's Comet, 35-1. And if you like long shots and you like horses shipping in from Canada, here's a good bet, Ken.
He's a tough, classy horse who loves to grind it out. And Georgia Limited set a quicker pace in his Nat Ray elimination and was simply out-muscled by a very game Good Times, who trotted the mile of his life for his first Meadowlands win because he finally drew a good post. He had been getting some bad posts, and he gets a bad post today, post position 10.
Well, nobody will be surprised that Moneymaker is the favorite, 2-5 right now. Number 7, as you see, the entry of Georgia Limited and Pietro Pan, 7-1. B. Core Pete's an outsider, as is T. Cody. Some other outsiders in the field, but Glory's Comet, one of the elimination winners last week, is being held at 5-1. Super high test, a competitor here at the Meadowlands this year, getting some action as well at 9-1. Let's ask Dara Torres who she likes in the upcoming $500,000 Breeders' Crown Trot. Dara?
Well, is it possible to like two horses? I mean, I want Glory's Comet because John Campbell's driving. I want to see if my sulky theory works. But I also want Moneymaker. She's the top pick, so we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be a tie.
Well, if it is a tie, that will be a dead heat. And yes, it is possible to like two horses. We usually group them together in an exacta, which is a tough bet for me. I usually have enough trouble picking just one. They are set behind the gate in all a field of 10. $500,000 on the line. 1998 Breeders' Crown Trot. Once again upstairs to track announcer John Bothy.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. I don't know if we want to have a tie. That would be awfully tough to call it. This should be a good one, though. It'd make for an exciting finish, that's for sure. Here they come. Here they come for the Trotters, and they're off. And Glory's Comet for the lead. That's Moneymaker, middle of the track. Towards the inside, B. Core Pete. Down the first turn. B. Core Pete on the inside. Up on the outside, Glory's Comet. Then it's Moneymaker. Towards the inside, T. Cody. Another 3 to Georgia Limited. Then up on the outside, Super High Test with Super Toy. Another 2 more to Pietro Pan. Then 2.5 to Westgate Crown and Good Times. Opening quarter, 27-3. And Wally Hennessy will put Moneymaker on the lead. And she's there by 2. Glory's Comet and Campbell. Nice 2-hole trip so far, second. Then it's 2 to B. Core Pete in third. Length and a half to T. Cody in fourth. 3 to Georgia Limited. Another 2 back to Super Toy. The inside Westgate Crown, then Super High Test. Good Times and Pietro Pan. The half and 55-3. Onto the far turn and Moneymaker. She enjoys a 2-length lead. Glory's Comet second. First over on the outside is Georgia Limited. B. Core Pete in fourth. Super Toy in the contention fifth. They're by 3/4, and it's still Moneymaker, the one to catch. 3/4 and 1, 25-1. 3/16 to go, and they're on their way home. And it's Moneymaker. She leads it by 2. Georgia Limited second. Down the middle of the track, late trot from Super High Test. In deep stretch. Here's a superstar Moneymaker. She's done it again, world champion. She wins the Breeders' Crown in 152-3. Gary, Moneymaker needed that last start. She was very impressive, although she did finish second. What a performance this afternoon. Shows just how dominant a trotter this champion is. Great performance. Now back down to you.
All right, John, and Moneymaker, the queen, ties the stakes record in the Breeders' Crown set by the great C.R.K. Susie in 1996 of 152-3. A sensational effort, and finally, Moneymaker gets her crown.
Well, once again, Moneymaker, the beauty and her ability comes through here, as well as Wally Hennessy is in full control. He's getting challenged on the outside by Georgia Limited, but Wally Hennessy shut her down really in that third quarter, 29-3, and just sprints off here home in 27 2/5, 152-3. This is just a fifth off her lifetime best, so she's in career form here. Just some tippy-tap whipping and snapping the wheel disc there from Wally Hennessy, but he is home free as it is a scramble on for the place spot as Moneymaker, the world-class mare, leaves the boys in her wake.
Well, the queen returns to accept her coronation along with the happy driver, Wally Hennessy, 152-3. As Ken Workington pointed out, in Europe, they call her the Sophia Loren of the equine world. There's her trainer, Jimmy Takter, a happy guy. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Meadowlands, and there you see her. She is the queen of the trotting world. Her name is Moneymaker, owned by the Moneymaker stable of East Windsor, Connecticut, consisting of K.R. Leasing, David Reed, and Jeff Stein, Paul and Antoinette Nagito, and Harvey Gold. And right now, Ken Workington standing by with driver Wally Hennessy and trainer Jimmy Takter.
Thanks very much, Gary. Jimmy Takter, you could have back-to-back horses of the year here. Revenge is sweet, though.
Well, she was extremely good, and I'm really proud over her and to show her off, and I think she's the greatest mare that ever lived.
Okay, so Nat Ray next week.
Yes, Nat Ray next week, and be very exciting.
Okay, I got a couple of friends here. Jimmy, thanks very much. Congratulations. Who have you got here, world-class Wally?
Well, this is my daughter, Christy. This is my good luck charm. She came down. She come over today. She said, "You're going to win today, Daddy."
Okay, as we take a look at it at the top of the stretch or around the far turn here, last week you said she just didn't feel quite as aggressive, but you were able to back it down right here.
Well, I'll tell you, like, you know, last week she was off that, 6 weeks, and, she only qualified the once. But once this mare gets on the lead, she's just so strong and powerful. Like I said before, I'm just the guy that's lucky enough to be driving her.
Now, you're urging her on just a little bit here. Any records in mind, perhaps?
Not really, like she's got her blinkers on. She's got blinkers on, and when sometimes horses will come up on her, she doesn't see them. So you got to kind of keep her attention. But she does everything I ask her to do. She's never ever not done anything I've ever asked her.
All right, you enjoying the globe trotting?
Oh yeah.
Good job. Okay, world-class Wally Hennessy and Jimmy Takter, a Moneymaker and a crowd pleaser, Gary.
All right, Ken, thanks so much. And there you see the official results. Moneymaker, if you bet her, you're not going to be making a lot of money. $280, $240, and $210. Georgia Limited second, $4 and $280. Super High Test third at $320. Exacta $840, and the trifecta $50 even. Full order of finish in the $500,000 Breeders' Crown Trot. Moneymaker the winner. There you see Georgia Limited second, Super High Test, and then Glorious Comet, who won one of the eliminations, followed by Super Toy and the rest. And last year's winner, Westgate Crown, finishing 10th and last in the field. Well, we are not done. We have more to come. It's the Breeders' Crown Mare Pace coming your way.